Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial on the use of the GPS tracking portal. Of course you would have received your email credentials with the necessary login information included in your URL, which is tracking.pisgy.com, that can be accessed via a web browser. Any other links you would have seen or contained in the email would have directed you to the phone application download, whether it's iPhone or an Android device. As you enter this page, you enter your user credentials, your username, your password, and once this is in, you just simply log into the system. Upon logging in, you'll be greeted with which is referred to as your home screen. Generally, it would indicate the list of vehicles that is currently under your profile, as well as a map view of the current position and status of your vehicles as well. Now, just to begin with, you at the top right here, you have your menu bar. Tracking, referred to as this home screen. Admin deals with the administrative features of the portal, which you're entitled to with certain privileges. You can create a dashboard that you can view different dynamics in terms of the vehicle reporting. You can compile reports and set up alerts. So generally speaking, you would see your display name at the top, the last date and time you would have logged into the portal. This little bell indicates active or past alerts. So generally you can see by just simply clicking on the alert bell, it will give you the list of alerts and the time it took place, which we'll get into a bit later on. Where is the gear icon simply enables you to either log out of the system or you can change your user settings, which generally is not necessary unless there's some specific bit of information that you may require to be changed. So you can just simply change by kilometers or miles, what we want to see in terms of date formats and stuff like that. Now, for map preferences, there are two maps. By default, yours is going to be set at Google Maps. You can either use it Google or OpenStreetMaps. It's a personal preference, whichever you decide. On the tracking stream, there's not much to be said here. This is basically set up from the starting of your profile, and you can update your password, given your current password, and enter in your new password. Once those updated information has been entered, you simply go ahead, you click on save, and that information is updated in the system. Now, moving along, where this little arrow is, it indicates the layer switch, which primarily means you can change between different types of Google Maps. So simply saying this is particularly referred to as your road view. You can change to a satellite view, which gives you greater clarity in terms of the actual dimensions and boundaries and shapes and sizes of buildings. Or you can use a hybrid view, which indicates the satellite view as well as names of the relevant streets and highways in Guyana. Alright, so I'm just going to switch this back to road view, so it's going to be simpler. At the bottom here you have your map control buttons. If required, you can simply just toggle them around. You could increase the zoom or decrease the zoom. Obviously, this is only required if you're not using a mouse. If you're using a mouse, you can use the scroll wheel to simply zoom in or zoom out, or just by simply clicking on your right mouse button, you can hold on a map and move it around as necessary. Alright, just moving along, on the right hand side you would have there's a list of vehicles that is under your control primarily, and it is identified by the make and registration model, current ignition status, GSM satellite signal, battery voltage, last date and time reported, last location reported, and activity for today, as well as its current status, which I'll get into right now. Just give me 1 second. Let me load my manuals up. So in terms of the vehicle box, so just bringing on screen now. The vehicle information box, which we will be discussing here, again, in greater detail, this is what it looks like. So